So in this video, I'm going to take one of those cane blanks that was given me and asked for me to do, and I'm going to turn it from start to finish to a completed cane. I'm keeping that cane for myself, so come along, let's get to the lathe and see how I did what I did, and then we'll finish it up. We're going to finish it up with a fallow antler handle, at least I hope. So come along and let's see where we go. Okay, let's get on and see what we can do. Alrighty. Okay, face mask on, dust collector on. I'm going to do this one just a little different. Don't know how it's going to come out. It's just an idea I had. We'll see. Okay, face mask back on, we'll go to carving. Alright, I've got an awful lot of hand sanding to do, so when I get this done, I'll come back and I'm going to sand it all up. So when I'm ready to put the finish on it, I'll come back. A couple hours later, it's smooth as I'm going to get it. Okay, I'll come back tomorrow, put another coat on it. We'll see what it looks like. Okay, got the second coat. Looks good. I'll let this dry overnight. A few days ago, I was contacted by a company and asked to try these lights and do a review of it. So I'll only be able to do an initial review right here in this video, and I want to try them out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these in a couple of places, and I'm going to take stills of what the light looks like in those various places before I put these up, and then I will put stills up of the same places after I put these up, and we'll see what the difference is. And this just screws right into a regular light socket. There's LED lights here in the center, 5 LED panels surrounding it, and these panels are adjustable. They can be adjusted so that they're all the way down, like this. Or if you want to, and there's no diffuser necessary with these, or if you want to direct the light somewhere else, you can bend whichever one's up that you want. Let's try some of these out and see what we think first blush. This is what the light looks like back over my bandsaw before putting the new LED bulbs in. And this is what it looks like after putting the bulb up. A big difference. All right, let's check out this area over that's my resin color cart and where I have my acrylic paints and my back workbench. So let's see. Well, it's definitely brighter in here. I don't know how well the picture is showing the difference, but it's brighter. And now we'll do the same for this corner. And that's the after. Again, all of these I've got facing straight down. If I want to direct any of the light, I can move the panels. Well, it's definitely brighter in here. I certainly have more visibility over my bandsaw than I had before. That much I can tell just from standing here looking at it. And that back corner of the shop, especially over my secondary workbench, yeah, it's awesome. I mean, it's awesome. These are rated at 100 watts. It says 6500K daylight. Yeah, 10,000 lumens. And because they're LEDs, they're more energy efficient, that much is for sure. So the big question is, how long will they last? In all honesty, I really can't tell you. I just now put them in. The documentation on Amazon says 50,000 hour lifespan. Short-term review, I'm very happy. So where can you get them? Like I said, they're on Amazon. I will put a link down in the description below. They come 2 in a box for, I think, $34. I'm not telling you to go buy them. I'm gonna make a handle out of this piece of fallow antler. I just happen to have this laying around, and I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna do a little bit of shaping on it right here so that it's more, there's a little knot right about here that could be a hot spot depending on which hand you got it in. So I'm gonna grind that down so that it's more flush with the rest of that there. And I've got a mark on here where I'm going to cut that. So I'll cut that at an angle and I'll round it off either on my sander or grinding it. Now while I'm working with this, I will be wearing my respirator, not just a dust mask, because I really don't want these pieces of any of this bone getting in my lungs. So I'm going to use this piece of fallow antler. I'm going to polish this up. This is a natural fall. Once I get this cut, I'm gonna fill some of that as best I can with probably black CA, and then I'll polish it all up. Now the thing I have to figure out, and this is nice and flat, and what I have to figure out is the best way to mount it to the cane. I'm going to drill a hole and I'm going to epoxy a threaded lag bolt into it, and I'm going to screw it down into the top of the cane body. But I'm not going to leave it there. I don't want to worry about that cane body splitting out. So like I did for my wife's walking stick, I'm going to come up with some kind of a ferrule. So let's get on with this and see where we go. Okay, I marked this, the angle I wanted, and I cut it off at the bandsaw. So now what I'm going to do is round this up a little bit, and then I'm going to sand this off. I'm going to start with 150 and see if it's stout enough. I just need to smooth this off where it fell off the skull. I'm going to use my Sandoflex and smooth some of this up, I hope. Now I'll take it to the bench, put it in the wood vise, and fill all that marrow portion where the blood flowed through the antlers with brown CA. Okay, I've filled the end with brown CA, both sides. I'll sand this up after this cures for several hours, and then I will drill my holes for my lag screws in both pieces, the cane body and this. I ordered a brass, basically it's a brass water fitting that should fit over the end of the cane body on one end, and I may have to do a little bit of trimming on this end to get it to sit in a little bit. I don't want it to go in but about maybe 3/16, about an 1/8 inch at the very most. And I'll come back when all that's done, or when I'm ready to show you what I'm doing. So how am I going to connect this to the cane? I've got this brass plumber's fitting, and what I'm going to do is cast brass. The inside's been machined. I got it chucked up. It's between centers so that it runs true. Once I get the rough stuff, the casting marks and whatnot, turned off of it with the carbide, then I can use traditional tools if I so desire. So I'm going to start off using this carbide tool, and we'll see what we can get done. I want to take light bites and take it easy. I don't want to get in a hurry. I'm not real sure how hard this brass is. It's not very hard at all. I'm using the round cutter, so I'm not cutting as aggressively, and you can see this is cutting that brass just fine. Let me try to make my life a little easier. I could keep using that because it's working, obviously, but I'll be here a little while and I'm impatient. That's the quick way. Now things should run a lot more smoothly. The brass is hot, by the way, just in case y'all are wondering. That is a worn out cutter, but I need to switch to an R2 for up here anyway. Billy, why aren't you catching those shavings? Because I'm probably not going to get enough of it to make a difference. There's the hard way and the easy way. I like the easy way. Now I'll see if I can true this up without throwing it off the chuck. Gotta just be real easy. Okay, I changed chucks because the other jaws just weren't big enough and I didn't have any jaws for that chuck that were. So I've got them on these step jaws now. I turned it around. It's running relatively true enough. I mean, it's a cane. So now I will do the same thing to the inside of these threads here and round this over. The card got full, had to put a new card in. I don't know how much of what I was doing you missed, but I don't think it was too much. At least I hope it wasn't too much. I don't want to take too much out of there because I want this cane body to fit in it. Whereas with the antler, I'm going to have to trim it to fit. Cane body is a set diameter already, and I don't want to have to turn it if I don't have to. It's awfully close. I'll take it down just a little bit more. That's where I need to go. So I'm not quite there yet. Yep, I can screw it on. That's perfect. So that's how you turn a brass fitting into a ferrule. And you can do this, you can use smaller fittings. You don't have to use this big threaded thing. They make copper and brass couplers for joining two pieces of pipe. You can use those for tool ferrules. Like the carbide piece I was using, the carbide tool I was using to turn the brass. That's my own. I turned this handle out of poplar. This was a rod, and these cutters I got from Captain Eddie Castle. This one is a little bit thicker, it's a little heavy. So now what I want to do, this is too big this way to fit in here. So I need to grind this down a little bit into a circle or more of a circle. If I had a good way to mount this, I would turn it, make it faster. There you have it. Got a little bit of a gap on the sides, and I will fill that like I did my wife's. I'll fill it with epoxy. Let's get the holes drilled and we'll go from there. Okay, I've got the hole drilled in the end of the cane body. I want to screw the cane body into, you can't see what I want to screw it into. I want to screw the cane body in there. I've got it together. I decided I didn't need to fill that with epoxy. It just wasn't going to be necessary. I've got it screwed nicely into everything. Now, since I used antique oil on the body of this, I decided to do the same thing on the brass and antler. I don't know how well it's going to cover or wear on the antler. I can always come back later. If I don't like how it looks or feels or how it's wearing, I can come back later and spray it with polyurethane The brass doesn't need a real heavy coat, and I've got that satin finish on it. Now it is going to give the antler some sheen, and that's okay. Like I said, if I don't like it, I can always come back in a few months and brush it with some satin water-based poly. I know that stuff is pretty tough, nice and durable. Now I'll let that dry. Based on how it looks like it's coating, it's hard to say because it's not soaking into the antler like it did the wood. It certainly isn't going to soak into the brass, so I probably am only going to need this one coat. So there it is, my personal cane. I don't need one yet, but you never know when that time may come. So here it is, my cane finished. I ended up cutting about 2 3/4 of an inch off of this to make it a comfortable height for me, but I'm really happy with it. I like the way it turned out. I really do. Like I said, I don't really need it yet, but it's good to have one for if and I do. So you can see that was a natural fall that happens every year off of deer. This was fallow. That's the kind of deer it was. I kind of like the shape of it and how it looked. Yeah, I could have put maybe a little bit thinner brass up here, but I wanted something substantial because I just really, birch is kind of soft and I just didn't want to risk any pressure on this splitting that wood out where I put that lag screw. But it's just lag screwed together. It holds up nice. Some hand carving after I turned it. You've seen it. You saw what I did, how I did it. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. I'm honest. I just really do. Please like, subscribe, share. I hope this answers the mail for the one request I had to turn a cane my way. I don't know how anybody else does it. This is just the way I decided to do it, and I'm happy with the result. Please check out my sponsors. I appreciate it. My Amazon affiliate link, anything that you order from that link down in the description, I get a few pennies for. It doesn't cost you anymore, and it helps us out here a lot. It really does. I do have something special planned coming in the near future. I may start on that. Y'all have a good one. I appreciate it. Again, live, laugh, love. And y'all come back. Never know what we're going to be up to here in the Mississippi.